it's Kelly with kellyscards.ca and welcome to my next everyday card kit number 12. This is a really awesome and kind of unique and different card. And why this is so different is I'm using strips, but I'm also using score lines to basically add as an embellishment. So to show you how I did these lines, I'm going to bring in my Martha Stewart scoring board, and I have this base here that I made to fit on the cards, and then I've got this little triangle piece. Now this is usually made for or used for envelopes, but what I'm going to use it for is just to make sure that the paper doesn't slide, and I have it at this nice angle. So to just pull one of these bases to show you, I'm not sure if you can pick it up. There we go. You can see that there's 3 score lines there, 2 there, 2 there, 3 there, 3 there, and 3 there. And I kind of just did it randomly. I liked the spacing on it. So what I did was I started out over here and I basically just scored 3 score lines close to the end here. And then I decided how much space I wanted to go to have the next score lines. So eventually I did put this down this way and use these score lines to help me score. But I basically just went, okay, I think this is a good placement. I'll do a couple score lines here, and then this would be a spot that we could have the strip lay. And again, then I would bring it in and say, okay, I think this looks good. We'll have a little bit more of a narrow strip there. And I basically went on the rest of the card doing more spots. So I'd go, oh, this looks good. And of course, all of them are the same, but when I originally started, I just kind of did it like this, and I'm like, oh, I like that pattern. And then I would go down here and I'd say, oh, a couple down here. And then of course at the end I did the same as the other one, and I did 1, 2, 3. So I just found that it was really unique and creative and added a little bit of texture and interest to the card, and that is how I did it. I'm going to bring these pieces in now, and I'm just going to put my little sequence aside, and we'll work on start adhering these strips down. One thing you can do is you can take your strip and figure out where you're going to put it, and then add some adhesive along that area. And then once you put it down here, then you can cut your extras off. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle between these 2 score lines. And I'll just move this here and rub this down. And once I got that on there, I can cut the edges off. I'll just flip it over like this, and I'll run my scissors right up close to this card mat here to get a nice straight edge. And that first piece is on there, and now we can move to the next piece. And for this piece, I'll show you another way you can do it. Obviously is with these thinner pieces, it might be a little better to put the adhesive on the back and just make sure that you have enough adhesive to get right to from one edge to the other. Now you're going to want to go over the end, because if you do this you might miss a section here, so go right over like this and position, and there. So we definitely want it hanging over both so that it completely goes all the way to the end. And if you can see that, it's right between those score lines, and I find that looks really neat. So again, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to cut these little pieces off. Now if you want, you could put it in a trimmer and do the same thing. And we've just added that, and I really like how this looks. It is definitely really neat, and it's definitely different. So on this one, I think I like putting the adhesive on the back of the strip better than the mat itself. It's just a little bit cleaner. I'll just get right to the end there. I'm just going to go right over top and bring this in. Try to get it right centered. There, that looks all right. And again, I'll just flip this over. And then right at the end, I'll go over all of the strips with my bone folder just to ensure that it is on there. And now we have the next strip. And we'll put this again right in the middle of those scoring lines. I just can't get over how unique this looks. It is a really neat look on the card. Like I said, it adds the texture, and it just adds actually a little bit of an embellishment as well, and I really like that. So now we've got this smaller strip to come over here. Like that. And I love to do diagonal lines on my cards like this. Again, it's just a little bit unexpected, and I really like how it looks. So now I've got those on there, and I'm just going to bring in my bone folder to just press this down. I didn't like how this was white on the end. I really feel like we need another strip here. So what I've gone and done is I've cut a couple more of these thinner strips. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in the corner here, and I have this little bit of scrap paper here just so I can go over the adhesive like this, and I'm just going to add this wee little corner here, and then again I'm going to flip it over and cut off the extra, and I think that will just look a little bit better than leaving the corner white. And you just have to be a little bit more straight on the edge of that corner, and I think that looks a lot better. And now I'm just going to do again the other side, same as the other one. And I'll put that down there, and again flip this over. And there, I like that a lot better with it, the pattern completing like this, and I think that just looks a lot better. Now we can attach this to our card base. And I really like to use the Be Creative or score tape to adhere my card mats down to the card base. This just is a little bit of a nicer adhesive. Again, I've talked about it in so many of my videos. I just love my Be Creative tape. Use it pretty much on everything and anything. And now I will bring this in here and get this lined up. And that looks good. I'm just going to bring my bone folder in, and I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to pull these strips off, but I want to make sure that it's nice and adhered on our card base here. Now that this is on here, in your little bag of smaller items, there is a whole bunch of things for this card. I have die cut 2 alphabets of these pink letters, and you can kind of put a sentiment somewhere on the card, as well as you will see these flowers. I thought the flowers would be perfect here, and then maybe a little sentiment here, or you could put a longer one here. It'll be up to you. I think I'm going to just use the word hello and pull out from some of these letters. Again, I have die cut 2 copies of these letters, so you should be able to make quite a few different sentiments from these letters. And we'll just pull out the rest of the letters. I pulled out the word hello out of all these letters, and now I'm just going to put them all back into this little bag, and I'm keeping the 3 sequins out. I've got a white one, a turquoise one, and a pink one to go to just finish up this card. And we will bring this in now. And I really like these little letters. I find that these little die cut letters actually look a little bit nicer to me sometimes than say an embossed word, and this gives an opportunity for you guys to say, take these die cut letters and then make a sentiment that you want. So to get started here, let's do the flowers first. And I'm just going to take a little of this adhesive and I'm going to put it down for this white flower. And as long as it's in the center, it doesn't really matter where it sits. And I'll just do the same on this pink. And I really like how the white breaks up the colors. And you can just move it around till it's right in the middle. And then what I like to do is I just like to pull up this top layer of this pink flower. So I'm just pulling the petals up a little bit to add a little bit of dimension, like this. And of course you can do this right at the end once we've done the card. I like how it helps the flower stand out a little bit better. So now we can bring this in, and again you can put it anywhere, but I think that I'm going to put it along. I'm just going to bring in a scrap piece of paper and I'm going to just dab some of this multi-matte medium down on here, and I'm going to grab a pair of tweezers and then dip my sentiment letters into it and then adhere it. Just going to grab my H here for the beginning of hello. I've kind of placed it exactly where I want, and I'm just going to dip these letters into this multi-matte medium. I love this adhesive, this multi-matte medium, because once it adheres and it dries, it will dry clear. There is no shininess to this adhesive, unlike a lot of other products. And I really like that. So you can see there's a little bit of glue here. That's going to dry clear and I'm not going to see any shininess. Just to kind of help clean this up though, I'm just going to take my little tool here and just wipe away some of the extra adhesive there. And now I can go into my next letter here. And again, I love this tool. This tool is so helpful for so many reasons. And I find this just helps, especially in situations like this where you're trying to get nice placement and you want to move your letters around. And last thing is the O. Just dip that all around. And just tap it off when you're putting it on to get that excess glue off. And actually that looks pretty good there. And just try to remove some of any of the extra adhesive. It just helps it to dry better. Like that. And I really like that word on the white part of that card. And now we have our sequence to put on. And you can kind of play around with where you want the sequence. It always kind of looks nice in a triangle. And because we have this flower here, I'm kind of hesitant to put it over in this area. I kind of want it a little bit over here. Kind of be nice to have one higher and different range. That might look good. I kind of like the way that is. And again, I'm going to use my multi-matte medium. And I'm going to put it down like that, and then I'm going to bring my tool in and I'm just going to push it down, and I'm just going to remove some of that adhesive from the center of that sequin. And then I'm going to move on to my next one here. And you don't have to put a lot of glue down for this. You don't want to have a big mess on your hands, but once you put it down, just push it firmly. And then we have our little white one here. And again, I will bring the tool in to help push. And one thing I like to do at this point is I like to put an acrylic block on just to help apply some even pressure for it to help to dry. I'll do that now, and I just like how that applies even pressure throughout the card. And of course you don't want to do that where the flower is, because then it wouldn't be even, but this will just help this dry a little bit more flatter and it will really just secure those sequins on a little better. Now I think we can pull this off of here and it will be a little bit more secure on there. And we will just finish up the inside of the card. Again, I like to do this so that the inside is finished, and if you have dark cardstock, then this is an easy way to be able to have a place to add your message. One more thing to finish up this card, I thought why not add a little bit of Wink Stella just to this pink top of this flower here. And again, love this Wink Stella brush. It just adds a little bit of glimmer, not too much, but you know, it just adds a little something extra to this card that gives it a little bit of sparkle. So really like this card. Again, I think that, you know, keep in mind about how scoring can definitely add a little bit of an embellishment. Plus this helps if you have strips of paper or scraps of paper. This is a way that you can use your scraps very efficiently and get a nice look. And it's so easy to make up some of these flowers if you have dies or if you buy packages of flowers to add as an embellishment. So I hope you enjoyed this card. There are 4 cards more in the series. If you want to purchase one of these kits, there are a limited amount of kits on my website. You can check the link down below. You can also check me out on my website at kellyscards.ca and subscribe for more videos, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.